so glad you're here tonight. I just had someone earlier go, I would come tonight, but I don't have any kids. I'm like, you're missing the whole point, because it's, like, obviously, you know, we're going to focus a little bit more on kids, but this is also where the kids hopefully catch what they're supposed to learn, right, in life, hopefully from you all, your parents. But it's creating healthy kids, healthy families, but obviously that starts with you. And so hopefully tonight, when we go over some things, you might jot something down either on paper or on your phone, like, oh, hey, I need to get back to that. I used to be doing that, but I need to get back to that. So, empowering parents for happier kids, but obviously that starts with you. I've been doing this for 3 decades, and I absolutely love it. I can't imagine doing anything else. So our mission, the families in our practice are healthier and safer than the families on both sides of our practice. And I can definitely back that up. So I see that all the time, dealing with people, especially when they first start coming here. So kids with adult conditions, right now, 27% of our children are having major health issues. So that's over one out of 4 kids are having problems, and that's just going to lead to just adults that have problems. So obviously, if we can catch it earlier on, the better. But this creates emotional, physical, and financial stress on families. I don't know if you can read this, but top chronic diseases, and again, it starts with kids and it kind of turns into adults. Asthma, ADD, ADHD, diabetes, depression, obesity, malnutrition. So when it comes to, for example, ADD, ADHD, 1 out of 10 kids are diagnosed with it. There's a lot that are not diagnosed, like a lot of these things up here. Right now, 29% of Americans aged 65 and older have diabetes. And so where does that start? That obviously takes its roots at the very beginning of life. 23% of adults with diabetes are undiagnosed. As of May of this year, 2024, CDC reported 98 million American adults have pre-diabetes. So these are people that have high blood sugar, but they're not yet diagnosed with diabetes. And so that's 1 in 3 people. 1 in 3 people have, they're just kind of outside, they're not technically diagnosed with diabetes, but they're just a donut away, so to speak, from diabetes. Depression. At some point in our lives, 1 out of 3 will be clinically depressed. When it comes to obesity, right now, according to the World Health Organization, 1 out of 5 kids are overweight, borderline obese. And then, of course, even in America, we have so much malnutrition. Now, why do you think we would have malnutrition?
Poisoning or food.
Yeah, because the food isn't really food; it's like fake food. And so when you live off of, the staples of hot dogs, macaroni and cheese, pizza,
Not eating the right thing. Yeah.
right? Frozen dinners, right? That's why we're malnourished in this country. So we're over-medicated. 18% of kids aged 0 to 11 are on medication. That number jumps up to 27% as a teenager have used a prescription medicine in the last 30 days. Right? So that's kind of where we're at as a nation. And then we have the vicious cycle of antibiotics. Right? And when you take a look at the studies, so I was just looking at some studies this last weekend here with antibiotics. If it's given in a hospital, you have an increased chance of a fungal infection. There was a study done in 2020 that antibiotics increase cancer risk by over 18%. They increase lung cancer by 30% by taking an antibiotic, increased risk. a 49% increased risk of developing colon cancer within 5 to 10 years. So that's where it's like, we never want to get to this spot. And it's just so accepted. It's like, oh, I had a bad infection, I just took the wrong antibiotics. Well, just look at the word anti is no, bio is life. So it's literally, yeah, it can wipe out the infection, but it also can wipe out a lot of like good bacteria, good bugs, and eventually wipe out you. So this is something that, absolutely, you don't want to get to that point. And then we have the immunization schedule, right? What's interesting is I've been told, well, gosh, when I was a kid, I got vaccinated, and it was with 3 of them back in the 60s. And so you go from, 5 doses back in the 60s to 24 doses in the 80s to now we're, 79 doses, and that number just keeps going up and up and up. So, with the time that we have allowed here, there is so much resources. I don't have time. I can give a whole topic on vaccinations, and there is actually a great seminar in Alexandria coming up the week after Labor Day, and so that's a great resource. Obviously, if you have any questions, definitely talk to me after the workshop today. So there's a couple of things here that, when it comes to the ingredients that are in these shots, aluminum, corn and peanut oils, yes, even with, you're wondering maybe where we got these peanut allergies from. Fetal cells, human tissue, human cells from aborted fetal tissue, DNA, formaldehyde, human proteins, yeast, antibiotics. There's just so many things that are in, and all you have to do is look at the manufacturer insert to see that. You're not in your head, you got a little experience with that?
Yeah, when Silas was almost a year, I brought him into the urgent care for something unrelated. And they're like, let's give him all his dosages. I was like, first of all, he's sick. We're not pumping him up. Give me all the labels, all the medicine labels that you have for all the immunizations you want to give him. And I looked at all of them and researched it. And it's even like aborted cow cells in there. And I was like, no thank you.
Yes. Animal blood. Yeah.
I read them all.
So that's where you did the research. I wish so many people would do that research before just blindly. Don't ever just take my advice or any other doctor's advice. Like, do your research and ask some questions. So one of the things that we have available, I even got challenged on it just because my kid is moving schools from 6th grade to 7th grade, and so they're like, okay, well, she needs her shots to be. No, she doesn't. So actually printed this off, and she's going to be in school, so not a problem. So we have this at the front desk. But again, if you have any questions, please ask me. So, all right, let's talk about something day to day. Is a fever good or bad?
It's good. It's good. It's good, but it's hard.
There's something like, I don't know, is this a trick question? So,
I said
at 100,
it's good, but it's hard.
It's hard. It's
100%.
As a parent, it is hard to see your kids suffer, absolutely. But when it comes to a fever is actually good. At 102 degrees, it prevents viral replication and inhibits cancer cells. At 103 degrees, it actually starves bacteria, right? So there are a lot of things where it's like, fever's actually good. Think about this concept. Nothing gets strengthened by avoidance. If you think about this in your marriage, at work, it's like there's another quote that I've been thinking about. The magic is in the work that you're avoiding. concept, right? All right, factors that impact kids' health, and not just kids' health. Again, it starts with you, right? So let's take a look at this. Nutrition. Nutrition is definitely a big factor. Technology. Oh my goodness, we are spending so much more time on technology than ever before, and it's just crazy how much time and attention that we spend on technology. Then there's just good old-fashioned stress. You have toxic exposure, and then of course impacting your nervous system. So it's this perfect storm when it comes to your health and your kids' health. All right. So this is most of my crew here. I think we're missing one who's out of state, but making it fun, making it doing things active as a family. They create times where you just unplug from technology, right? And there's still a few places like along the river. It's pretty hard to get. Your phone just kind of turns into a thing that you can kind of take some pictures, but other than that, it doesn't really do much. So I love those campgrounds, those places, those times. So one of the things I would encourage you to do is take time to just unplug, and it kind of starts with you, and to be able to just unplug for a little while. All those emails, all those texts, all those messages, all those notifications will be there for you when you pick it up. My favorite. Anybody know what my favorite feature is on the phone?
Airplane mode.
Airplane mode. Yes.
Yep.
And sometimes I actually forget that I leave it on. I'm like,
I was going to say GPS.
GPS is a second, right? That's definitely that is definitely saved my marriage. GPS. Yes, absolutely. All right. So one of the things I want you to think about is thinking about your kids' daily routine, and along with that, obviously, your daily routine, right? So, what's a typical breakfast like? Right? What's a typical lunch? What's a typical dinner? What do snacks look like? Right? How much are they really on technology? Like, how long? How much screen time do they really have? Have you ever been shocked at your report of I spent that much time? Like, what? Oh. Are your kids overscheduled? Are you overscheduled? That's one of the things that I love about COVID, was just clearing the schedule. And it was just for a while, it was oh, this is awesome. Everybody remember that? And then what happened? It slowly just added everything back in. So if you thought about your kids, hopefully you thought about your daily routine. What does your daily routine look like? And one of the things I could say is, just I'm thinking of Dr. Joel here, who is no longer with us, and I'm like, it could be your last day. I know it sounds morbid, but it's every day I hop on that bike and come to the office, I'm only 4 or 5 blocks away, but it's I got a couple of close calls, and it's just wow, people not paying attention. So it's I'm on the sidewalk so most of the time, just okay, yeah, I made it, right? All right, so are you spending some time, just spiritually, getting your heart right? And notice, yes, that's actually how I read, right? I put it up at high level.
I noticed.
I guess I've seen too many x-rays where it's everybody's neck is so jacked, and it's it didn't used to be that way. shoes have only been around for, especially the thick rubber ones, like, they've only been around for 100 years or so. So, like, I think we were meant to spend some time in contact with the ground. And if you haven't looked at this, do a little research on grounding. Okay, I'm not talking about, Mother Earth or anything. Just practically what happens when you're in contact with the ground, what your body does when you actually have, and then obviously just being outside, right? Being outside, like the studies I've read on depression or anxiety get so much better. I mean, forget about exercise. Yeah, exercise is important, but just being outside in nature, right? So what that does to your body. So are you spending a little time grounding, contacting the ground? Right? Then of course exercise. And got any favorite forms of exercise? How do you like to exercise, Brian? Manual work. Okay, that's called stress.
Yeah.
Right? That's a typical guy. I hear
What
this all the
Christopher
time.
would say
Like,
too.
I got a really physical active job. And I know you do, but that's called stress.
Sports.
Sports. What kind of sports? What do you like? Basketball. Baseball. Yeah. I've often told people I think I'm part lab because if you involve a dog, like if you involve a ball, I try to forget. Like I forget, like, oh, hey, I'm actually exercising and I'm having fun and I'm sweating and, so finding something fun that you like to do. Obviously, including some family with this, right? Makes it harder to do. Whenever you can do some stuff together as a family. We've chosen some things like I never really got into kayaking, but my wife loves it, and then just kind of realizing, oh, hey, we can do this with the family, and kind of drop in one spot, get out at another. So spend some time doing that. Yeah. So anybody else want to? I guess I go. Volleyball. All right. That's great. Great fun family activity, and obviously you got to tailor. Your kids are different ages, but sooner or later they're going to beat you. Gosh, I have been holding off all my kids playing tennis, and as far as beating me, and I always I come back proud. I'm like, no, one day, but not today. And then you get to the point where they get really close, like they're just about ready to beat me, and they graduate. Well, then I got one that's super serious about tennis, and she put in like 120 hours in the summer of playing tennis, and she'll be the first one that beats me. I guarantee it. Like it's at that point where she's just playing so much. And this weekend it was like we got rained on, and I think she would have beat me, but it was just 6'3", 6'4". She's getting closer and closer. So having fun with it, and obviously doing it as a family, something that you do as a family. All right, and don't forget your home care. Right? And so this is something where if you take great care of your spine, it'll take great care of you. You ignore your body, you ignore your spine, and it sucks to be you. So it doesn't take a lot, but just a little bit every single day. Right? But what happens is everyday decisions impact your future, impact your future. And so it's just, I find it interesting how, just with, for example, all of a sudden, you're watching a movie, and now it's like today's society is just like, okay, you go to the next one starts in 10 seconds. It's like it immediately starts. It's like, well, I didn't even want to watch anything more, but it's almost like, here you go, here's some more. Well, I don't necessarily want more, right? And so it's amazing how everyday decisions can impact your future. I had a young man, 17 years old, come in a couple of weeks ago for a high school physical, and his blood pressure was out of control. I started asking him some lifestyle questions, and it's like, well, besides being overweight, he gets average 2 hours of sleep a night.
Oh.
Average. He doesn't drink any water.
What?
He drinks anywhere from, he said, in front of his parents, I only drink 4 to 6, which everybody knows it's probably like double because he's not drinking any water, right? And so he's drinking 4 to 6 plus soda pop, kind of pop, that type of thing. So a lot of sugar, not even eating real food, and it's like, I'm like, okay, we gotta get back here in a couple of weeks. And so he got his first adjustment here in the office, and I'm like, well, we're gonna go over some lifestyle stuff. So we'll see how that works, but it's like, and I just asked him the question, like, do you want to live to see 30? Because the way you're going, like, it's not sustainable to sleep 2 hours a night and to take that much caffeine and sugar. Like, you just can't. And you'd be shocked at how many kids are like that. I'm seeing more and more of it. All right, so we talked about the typical diet, and this isn't just a typical child diet. We see this unfortunately with adults, where it's like sugar, more sugar, refined carbs, which turn to sugar, right? Refined oils, which aren't healthy at all. Your nervous system, your brain and nervous system are 60 to 70% fat, and then we have additives, dyes, and preservatives, which cause a lot of problems. We see a lot of brain problems with that. It's just really, really toxic to your body.
Good to know.
One more. Okay. Oh wait. Because Rachel told me to wait.
Don't make me go up there. Oh. Go back. There you go.
Can I get a quarter pounder with cheese and large fries, please? Thank you. I just spent $10 for a quarter pounder of cheese here at McDonald's. What the heck? Let's stop at Burger King. Oh my God. $12? Wow. Expensive water. Head home and see how much cheaper I can make it. I'll grab some buns, some grass-fed beef, cheese, 1 large russet potato for the fries. Chop that potato up, get it into the oven until the fries are nice and crispy. Slap that burger on the grill, put a piece of cheese on top, and it's time to put out my own quarter pounder with cheese and crispy fries. $3.15, my friends. The McDonald's version is over 300% more expensive. The Burger King one is just about 400% more expensive. And look at their ingredients for their fries compared to mine. Look at their ingredients for their buns compared to mine. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We're loving this. So make your own food. And speaking of that, what other fast food comparisons to homemade should we do next?
Okay, I shared that with you all because people talk about how eating out or how eating healthy is expensive. No, eating out is expensive, right? And there's just so I was in charge of our Friday morning men's time at church, and I was actually the cook for a year. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it over. I'll help you out. And they're like, well, here's our budget, and and it's like, I ended up making them every Friday morning for 1 year, just to let them know that this is possible. They got an all-organic smoothie, organic eggs, with organic chicken. It was pretty impressive for under $6. It was like $5.50, and per serving, per person. And they were just blown away that you could actually eat healthy, and like I said, it was amazing, real food. And I actually had some of the wives calling me to ask me the recipe because it's like, hey, my husband said I had to get the recipe for this because he's pooping better, he's feeling better. I'm like, okay, all right, thanks. All right, so this is what we're talking about as far as we actually, half of all children have nutrient deficiencies here in America because they're just eating so many things that just aren't, it's just they don't produce life, they don't produce energy, they don't produce life for the body. Then you have the dangers of sugar. There's just so much sugar everywhere. If you were to realize, just how much sugar is in everything, especially in drinks, and I always get asked, well, why do they put sugar in there? Because it's a legal form of, sugar is 7 to 8 times more addictive than cocaine. And so legally, if someone can put cocaine, a legal form of cocaine, in food, to get them to get you addicted to the product, they're going to do it. And so there's just again, it's just long term. This is not sustainable when it comes to putting that much sugar into our bodies. One short video.
I don't know why I want you to go back and forth.
This is the new peppermint mocha swirl here at Dunkin' Donuts, and that's a record-breaking 186 grams of added sugar. But grams are kind of hard to visualize sometimes, so visualize this, my friends. It's the same amount of sugar as not that many munchkins, that many. 93 munchkins that are powdered sugar. Need another frame of reference? It has that much sugar. That is 46.5 teaspoons of white cane sugar in a freaking coffee. Now read the comments sometimes. Some people say, Bobby, are they trying to kill us? No, they kill us. We can't be consumers of their products. They're trying to make us hooked on their food, so we're fat, sick, and nearly dead. That way we keep buying their crappy food, and we keep buying their prescription medication. My friends, this is insane. This is a prime example of profits over people.
Now, I know we don't have any Dunkin' Donuts right around here, but the concept's the same. When you go to all those fancy drinks with Starbucks, with Caribou, right? It's more sugar than anything else. All right, dangers of additives. We talked about that as far as just what it does to your brain. I see a lot of people that have problems with this, as far as just the toxicity, what it does to your brain and nervous system. So stay away from additives, colors. One thing that you can really make an impact in is switching your oils. I had someone they actually brought me a box like, hey, is this healthy? And it looked healthy from the front side, but then you flipped it around, and one of the things that had in there was canola oil. And so I just told her, hey, that's a rancid oil, even though it's an organic product and it looks healthy. There's definitely better options out there. And she's like, well, like what? And I'm like, well, if you're looking for a quick, healthy snack, one of the things is just basic is like a Lara bar. It only has like 4 real things in there. And it doesn't have rancid oil. But one of the things is making sure that because your brain and nervous system is 60% fat, making sure that you have, for example, like coconut oil, avocado oil, things like that are really helpful. So you cook with that. You can put that in your smoothies. It's a great way to give you some good, healthy fat. Also, extra virgin olive oil is a great oil for this, but you don't want to heat that, so that's a low heat or no heat oil with the olive oil. So a great way to detox. Has anybody not tried an infrared sauna? Anybody? You've all tried an infrared sauna? You have not? All right, make sure you're going to get anybody that wants to.
I think we still have our thing at home.
Okay. Use it.
I think it's not good.
If you have not tried an infrared sauna, the first session is on me, so try that. But yeah, it's awesome. It's a great way to detox. All right, so brain empowering foods for proper nutrition. These are all going to help your brain get a head start. So again, fatty fish, live caught fish, salmon, that's a really fatty fish, eggs, berries, avocados. Again, you want to try to sneak in a little avocado wherever you can. Leafy green vegetables. Those are all great for your brain. How do I get my kids to eat healthier?
When there's no other option, they'll eat it.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's it.
This is the only option, right?
That's our house. You
Okay.
get, it's the only option. And then it's the norm then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Start them young, and then they don't know any different.
Start them young, right? I would say for our house, one of the things that's really made an impact is smoothies. And I'm kind of the smoothie king in our house. And this is kind of a common occurrence. It's like, this is, I make sure, and especially for those teens, knowing that they're going to get bombarded at school or elsewhere, it's like, well, I want to at least get them started right and make sure. And so my smoothies are healthy. So they're packed with greens. Like, you'd be shocked at how much, most kids, most adults, it's hard to eat a salad, but you can just chuck it in by the handful, and I'll drink a salad all day long. Like, it's awesome. So it's just a great way. So I would say the answer to that question is, again, be the example. And, I know if there's going to be crud at home or if there's going to be something around, like, I'll probably eat it. So if you just don't let it into your house. Like, just, this is the option. This is what we're eating. And if some kid doesn't like something, I'll make 2 different types of smoothies. It's like, oh, okay. Hey, you want blueberries? Okay, you want strawberries? Okay, I can do that. I can give them 2 healthy choices if you want a choice.
Our
So-
7-year-old makes her own smoothie.
Yeah.
She's 7, and they love it. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do smoothies all the time too.
But they've learned that by example.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
All right. So I want to talk about the bundle and actually bring up Sarah and Allison for that. When we talk about that.
So, if you notice, the multivitamin blend different because slowly Max Living is changing everything over to Pure Path. That means like from the soil that the herbs and the minerals and everything is gathered from, it's super clean. So from beginning to end, it's Pure Path. That's the thing. So I'll talk about the men's multivitamin first. So it's crafted to support the diverse needs of men navigating physical and mental demands. And the formula is enriched with essential antioxidants, vitamin B vitamins, and key minerals. And what truly sets this blend apart is because it's meticulously formulated to promote prostate health and balance adrenal function. And it encourages physical endurance, balances testosterone levels, supports prostate health, and promotes heart health and boosts immune function. So pretty much surpasses competitors in effectiveness and potency. And the same for the women's, it's designed specifically for women. It has vitamins A, D, E, K, along with a comprehensive range of B vitamins, which is really important for women, and minerals. And it targets crucial areas such as breast health, bone, skin, reproductive, and cardiovascular health. So it helps balance nutrient needs and fills in the gaps of where we're missing minerals through our diet because we don't get what we need through our diet alone. And boosts cardiovascular health, supports healthy skin, promotes bone strength, which is important for women as well, and helps manage stress. So it's good, just staple to take every day. And Sarah's going to talk about the kids' vitamins.
So in addition to a healthy diet, naturally sweetened masculine its multivitamins and provide children with a foundation for healthy growth and development. Even if your children or grandchildren eat a well-balanced diet, they might not be getting all of the nutrients their developing brains and bodies need. 90 Kids multivitamin serves a bridge between dietary gaps, ensuring the necessary nutrients for healthy growth and development. As kids return back to school, a multivitamin will also aid in boosting their immune system, along with the no shots. As well as jump-starting your kids' health with multivitamins, Max Kids probiotics also kids also receive soothing benefits which help to maintain healthy gastrointestinal function. By promoting healthy immune system development, probiotics can assist in preventing uncomfortable childhood tummy aches, constipation and diarrhea, for example, while simultaneously encouraging and providing a happy tummy.
Yay!
All right. I would say when it comes to multivitamins, both for adults and kids, it's a great way to fill in the gaps. I do get asked this all the time, like, well, what's the cheapest way to do this? Well, the cheapest way would be the box.
Daily essentials.
Daily essentials, and they kind of come, and that's the cheapest, is kind of in a box form, where you have your daily, it's kind of like a packet of them, of the basics.
Just like this. I didn't finish my vitamins today, so it's really nice. You just grab it and go.
Yeah, so that's the cheapest way. Also, to have them auto ship, that will also discount as well. All right, the importance of sleep. Sleep is when the body is healing, right? This is not a stage picture. They were actually sleeping. So, yeah, you get two sisters that kind of come up, and nothing more angelic is when your kids are doing the same sleeping. So, sleep. I think my biggest shock is I tried this. This is called an Aura ring. It kind of measures a lot of different things. And then after using it a month, I said, hey, I asked my wife, do you want to try this? And she got hooked, and I never saw it back again. So, but the surprise with it, and she still uses it faithfully, is that just because you're in bed for X number of hours, let's say you're in bed for 8 hours, you don't get 8 hours of sleep. And like she used to drink about half a glass of wine a day, and what she realized was alcohol had a negative impact on sleep. You would think, oh, a glass of wine is going to relax you, and it made her have less, like, deeper sleep and less overall sleep. So she went from a half a glass a day to now maybe a half a glass a month. Typically a special occasion or something like that, but yeah, so that's probably the biggest thing with sleep. But yeah, it's a chance to recharge your body. It's something that I've struggled with for the longest time, and I'm getting better with getting more sleep. But yeah, it makes a huge difference. It's vital for obviously physical growth, brain function. Half of our kids have sleep issues, and again, not just as babies, they're just kind of growing from, kind of toddlers into teenagers. So it's a major factor on hormones and your immune system. So it does a lot of things important wise. Then we have the importance of movement. So yes, here's my daughter Rebecca, who's watching some of your children, and just making sure you get out and move every single day, make it fun. And I'm a big fan of a little bit every single day, whether it's a walk, whether it's a bike ride, whether it's something fun. So get out there and move. Your body needs to move. Here's a fact for you. Only 24% of adults get the weekly recommended exercise. 20% of teens and only 5% of children. We're spending, yeah. So it really helps to move more. And I think one of those things is, and you seem shocked, especially as a teacher and as a mother, but there's less and less play outside for hours on end. Like we were, that's how I grew up. We just this wasn't an option, right? Technology addiction with kids, and again with adults. For kids, kids with between 2 and 5 are watching 32 hours of TV a week.
It's a full-time job.
Yeah, it's the new babysitter. Just give your kid a tablet or kind of sitting in front of the TV. So my challenge to you. I've been asked this. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do for your next challenge? And we've had some different challenges. I would love for you guys to do as a family a technology detox. Now I want to leave that open to you, whether it's unplug for a day, unplug for a weekend. In our family, we've actually done media-free May. We often do that just because it's a kind of a great time to do it for us. Plus, it sounds cool. It's just a great time of year. You can do it anytime. But to set up some rules, like whether it's from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., we're just gonna throw all the phones in the drawer, right? Or we're only gonna have to use phones as phones, right? Like not as a supercomputer, but just but yes. So I'm going to encourage you to come up with your own rules, your own family rules, and then abide by them. And just not forever, just try for a week. Like, hey, I'm going to do this. No phones from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something. I don't know. Like, come up with something. Obviously, we see this a lot. So when you do use your phone, you're putting it up at eye level versus down like this. This puts a lot of tension on your neck, causes a lot of problems on your spine, a lot of tension on your spinal cord, right? And it really messes with your nervous system, right? So when you are misaligned, when you do have text neck, right? And whether you do that with your phone or whether you look down at your desk all day or you prop your head, crank your head down sleeping. There's many different ways to misalign your spine, but that's what subluxation is. It's a misalignment of your spine that puts pressure on your nervous system. So there's warning signs. We see this with babies. So if you know any babies that have issues with, they're having issues with breastfeeding, their inability to latch on, they're having sleep issues, they favor one side or constantly look to one side. I see a lot of that. Respiratory stress, or just excessive gas or constipation, recurrent ear infections, reflux where they're kind of constantly burping up a lot. So that's classic with babies. Okay. Then as they get older, from teens to adults, it's just a whole list of issues. A lot of different warning signs. So obviously, if you know somebody that's having issues like that, come talk to me. I do free consultations over the phone. They typically take about 15 minutes, depending on how many questions they ask. So we can definitely find out whether or not they're if this is something that chiropractic can help with. I'll never forget Keegan, at 3 years old, he was diagnosed with ADD, ADHD, hyper, angry, destructive. He was not happy at all, and a lot of issues. Doctors wanted to put him on Ritalin, but mom's like, nope. I know this is not the right direction. it was just amazing, seeing, getting pressure off his nervous system and how he just changed from this really destructive kid that was having really a tough time in life, just do incredibly better, right? And I know we have some people here, and so, gosh, I don't know if you talk to about the boy, about Silas.
Which part?
Which part? Yeah,
Well, I'll share my most recent.
yeah, come on up.
Hi everybody, my name's Chanel. I've been coming here, I think since 2017, I believe. And my little boy, he's been getting adjusted since he was 6 weeks old. We had seen a previous chiropractor, but then we came here. So recently, he has ankle creases, which he gets really bad constipation, and it causes the bowels to get enlarged, and then he loses the sensation. Which, as a mother, I've been wiping his butt for 8 years. It's not fun, but we've tried everything. And then we took x-rays with Dr. Pete, and he has subluxation in the areas that communicate with your digestive system. So we've done a 6-month program. We're about 2/3 of the way full through it. And since July 1st, he's probably only had about 4 accidents, where there were days where he had 3 accidents in one day. So it's like,
So three accidents in one day compared to 4 times for
over a span
month
of
and a half.
almost, a month and a half.
Yeah.
And we have tried everything, and
Yeah.
obviously holistically, and so
That's amazing.
Life is so much better, right?
oh, it smells better.
Smells better. Yeah. Yeah, it is truly amazing, and when it comes to, you mentioned subluxation, one study of 1,000 babies found that over 80% had a misalignment in their spine, and so it starts at birth, but it really can make a difference because the nervous system controls everything. It's like you get that pressure off the nervous system, and it's like, wow, things can change. Yeah.
For the better.
For the better. Awesome. So before we get into action steps, Allison's like, I want to share something. And I'm like, okay. So here are some tips to kind of get you started to make some changes. And I know she's come a long way with this.
Yes,
So.
I've been here for 15 years. I've been learning for 15 years, so it doesn't happen overnight. So, and I've had a few people reach out and say, I need help. Like, how do I feed my family? So I've been compiling something, and I'm like, it's ready in time for the workshop. So I have a digital copy of this. There's a bunch of links to like recipes that are healthy and good and like kid friendly. And then there's a bunch of like the best kinds of foods to give them. But I just wanted to say, start with just one healthy meal a week. Like, you can't overhaul everything at once. It's not sustainable. It's not going to last. Start with one meal a week. Like, Sunday night's dinner. You all get involved. Get your kids involved with chopping or cutting or ripping lettuce or whatever they can do at their age. But, like, get them involved. There's something really special about having everybody make the meal, and then you sit down and eat it together. So, just one, and then once you get that down, add in 2 meals a week, and just kind of slowly do that. And then I need to plan like a day for like an hour to sit down and plan out my meals for the week, shopping, and like get it all planned out, because then I'm prepared for the week, and it's not like I don't have anything to make. So what do? You order pizza. That doesn't happen because you have a plan, and then you have like healthier things in the freezer, like healthier cauliflower crust pizza, or like other options that aren't as bad, but it still feels like a treat. And then just like a couple hours a week to do baking, and like I make a bunch of pancakes and waffles. I put them in the freezer, pop them out in the toaster. It's a fast, easy thing. I make a bunch of muffins, put them in the freezer, pull them out the night before, defrost them. It's fast food the healthy way. And then just tips to get started. Like, starting young is great because then they don't know any better. Like, I used to feed my daughter chard, and it tasted like dirt, and she's like, this is great. I was like, hey, like, this is great, but they don't know any better until you show them. So starting young is better, but like, choose your kid's favorite treat and just find a healthier version and start with that. And then, step by step, little baby steps, that's what's gonna last. And then another big thing is replacing juices with like healthier drinks, like kefir waters. I have kefir grains to share if you guys want to do that. It's super easy to do. And then just don't healthy snack, they didn't like it, don't give up, just try something else, because there's tons of stuff out there. Just keep going, like I said, it takes a long time, but we can do it. So ask me if you have any questions, if you want to keep your grains, or peaches, phobias, or any of that great stuff.
Thank you, Allison.
Awesome. Yeah, I love what you said, Allison, as far as, hey, if you have a disaster or something, you can laugh about it later on, right? You can go, hey, Dad, remember that time when you tried to like fit everything into the smoothie? I'm like, yeah. Remember, it just tasted, you know,
Horrible. Yeah.
horrible. Like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So definitely have fun with it. I love also what you said as far as, you know, find something that they like that's not so healthy and get it to the point where they like it, like with a healthier version of that. And so I think our best thing with that, as far as a family, is just healthy pizza. You know, and you make your own, and everyone kind of has a ball of dough, and you have fun with it, and it's real ingredients. And so it just makes all the difference with that. So, action steps. This is a time where you come up with what you're going to do, right? Because I don't want you to go, oh, hey, that was a nice talk, right? So, what you going to do different? An action step.
Make my daughter a smoothie every day.
Funny.
Yeah, I'm telling you, those
Yeah.
daily smoothies, it's weird in our house when we don't make a smoothie.
Yeah.
It's just, it doesn't happen very often.
I'm inconsistent with it, but
Yeah, you just get to that point where I'm committing
That's
to
what
it.
you do,
We're
yeah.
having a smoothie every day.
two vitamins.
Yep.
Same
Yeah,
for
it's
us.
a great exercise.
My kiddos, they love the smoothies, so if I make the time to do it, they're all over it. So I
Yeah.
just have to do it more frequently.
Yeah, awesome. Anybody gonna do a technology detox? Everybody's gonna?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna try.
Again, come up with a
Yeah.
plan. Something that you can agree with. Something that's like, okay, you can do this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, awesome. All right,